Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch brings all the racket-swinging fun to the wacky world of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Mario is no stranger to a bit of sports, and this isn't his first foray onto the court.
Indeed. He began his tennis career in 1995 with Mario's Tennis on the Virtual Boy. Since then, there's been a number of different Mario Tennis games, bringing him across numerous consoles, all the way to 2018 with Mario Tennis Aces.
Historical. Mario Tennis Aces offers a few different modes of play, but all have very similar gameplay mechanics. Using the thumbstick and various button presses, you can control the direction and type of shot. You can build up a powerful, high-speed shot by charging up each of your regular hits, or use a powerful zone shot if your opponent hits an easy ball, which is a bit like a smash.
These tough shots can be blocked by timing your return at just the right moment.
However, hit it too early and you risk damaging your racket. Take too much damage and it can break, causing you to lose the match if you don't have any spares.
Oh no!
Rad, I thought this was a really interesting addition to the series, at times feeling more like a fighting game. It definitely took me a while to master, but I found once I got the hang of the zone speed feature that uses energy to go into slow motion, matches turned from friendly back and forth into intense power struggles.
I wasn't feeling it. I maybe could have been on board if the controls felt really tight, but to me they just don't. Zone shots are telegraphed by a short pause, which gives you a chance to go into slow motion and return it. But by the time the ball reaches you, your slow-mo has usually run out. But if you wait too long to slow things down, you risk the ball just whizzing right past you.
I thought the controls actually felt fine. To me, this played as good, if not better, than previous games in the series. And after the woefully featureless tennis outing on the Wii U that was Ultra Smash, I enjoyed how much more there was to juggle in any one match. I even turned around a few losing matches by just going after my opponent's racket. It didn't feel totally fair, but a win is a win.
I do love to win. If you want to forego the button pressing, you can try swing mode, which I was really keen for. This uses motion control so you can use the Joy-Con as a virtual racket, swinging your arm like a real tennis pro. This felt even less accurate than using buttons, but was a whole lot of fun anyway.
When it comes to other game modes, there's free play and traditional tournaments, and you can play local co-op against the AI or online. But for a more in-depth single-player experience, there is adventure mode.
The campaign has a super zany story. An evil, sentient racket with mind control powers has taken control of Waluigi and Wario. You have to collect 5 Power Stones before the racket does in order to stop its evil plot.
To do so, you'll journey through numerous tennis matches and vaguely tennis-related mini-battles. Everything still involves hitting a ball with your tennis skills, but sometimes it'll be a puzzle, mini-game, or boss battle. Like this one, where you need to rally with a giant piranha plant until it falls over, exposes a weak spot that you smash with a zone shot. These can be really tricky, so I guess you could think of them as training sessions.
You could, but to me they felt more like annoying not tennis sessions, which I had to slog through in order to continue. I came to play tennis, not whack-a-mole. The challenges were also really hard, and at times didn't feel quite fair.
The odds are certainly not stacked in your favour. As you face up against various opponents, there's always something new about the court to add a little spice to the mix. It's usually something that'll hit the ball back at you, but that only affects you and not your opponent. It's tough, but I do admire how many creative ways they've found to put a spin on the game.
I found it got in the way of what I came here for, which is tennis. And at the core of it, I think that's what was lacking in this game for me, that sense of satisfying flow. There's almost none of that meditative quality to a rally, which is what I love about real-life tennis. Plus, the scoring system has been altered and is a little confusing at times, which stops it from feeling like real tennis. And in the end, I found myself feeling like matches were dragging on.
Well, being a Mario Tennis game, I think it's okay to change things up a bit. And I feel like this new zone system is a great example of this. You can always play simple rules for classic fun rallies with some of your favourite Nintendo characters. Plus, it has that trademark feel-good charm with colourful characters and satisfying sounds. It's not a tennis simulator by any means, but it's a crazy fun run around the court. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
I really wanted more from this. I didn't enjoy the single-player campaign much, and the controls just didn't feel snappy enough for me. I'm giving it 2 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Nowadays, there's nothing new about seeing video game characters pop up in each other's worlds. In fact, many a gaming mascot get together now to compete in sports, have a friendly brawl, or for some reason always go go-karting.
But there is something particularly odd about the latest matchup of Mario's gang from the Mushroom Kingdom and those raving mad Rabbids in Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Kingdom Battle is what's known as a turn-based combat strategy game, meaning you take it in turns to move your team around a gridded area, trying to create clear lines of sight to blast opponents into oblivion. You can see why I'm a fan already.
Guys, straight away this feels very un-Mario, helped in no small part by the absolutely insane storyline they've put together to explain all this. A young scientist and big-time Mario fan is close to completing a pair of goggles that can merge objects together with the help from her sidekick robot, Beebo. But when a gang of time-traveling rabbits arrive and try on the headset, chaos ensues, sending everyone into the Mushroom Kingdom when they proceed to mess everything up before Mario and some cosplaying rabbits show up to save the day by rescuing an adorably goggled rabbit, whose name is, ready for this? Spawny.
Oh, he's so adorable, isn't he? Oh, he could be our new mascot. Sorry, Daz. But yeah, it is all just crazy, isn't it? Then again, nothing ever involving those rabbits is ever straightforward. After everyone is finally introduced, you start out at Peach's castle, which acts as the hub world. And from here, your trio of heroes can explore the many branching paths that are laid out as stages before you.
These paths will send you off into bright, colourful zones full of puzzles, familiar encounters, collectibles, and the occasional rabbit stuck in a humorous situation or two. Oh, what are you doing, you silly rabbit?
I like how these travel sections work to break up the battle arenas that you'll encounter along your adventure, as this is where the gameplay switches over from the relaxing free roaming to turn-based strategy and tactics.
Once the battle begins, you're given the option to switch between your heroes, move them around the grid, activate their abilities, and then fire on a target if you're within range. And you can do these actions in any order you like.
And it's important to think through every option because movement and placement play such a big part in the overall strategy of this game. Starting out, you're able to slide dash through enemies to do damage, along with team jumping to send you further around the map. But later on, you'll gain access to extra skills that can be combined together to maximize what you can do each turn, which you need to do if you want to stand a chance of defeating the multitude of wacky rabbit enemy types that you encounter each round.
Yeah, but how good are these enemies, Barjo? Not only are they totally ridiculous, but they each have their own unique combat styles and movesets that can really change the fights and keep you on your toes. Plus, there are some excellent boss battles that really require you to change the way you play in order to succeed. In fact, guys, when you step back and take a look at this unassuming, silly game as a whole, you realize there is a ton of rich strategy going on under the hood.
Oh, affirmative. Hunting down chests unlocks new weapons to equip, each with their own weird destructive stats for specific heroes. Orbs can be collected and spent on skill trees to gain extra abilities. Plus, you'll eventually add more heroes to your roster that you can choose to switch in and out of your team between fights. It's a bold tapestry of tactics to take in.
Fortunately, it's not all thrown at you at once. Instead, there's a nice difficulty curve that gradually introduces new elements into play. That's not to say I didn't find myself on the end of a few losing battles early on. Mamma mia!
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm also really glad this isn't a complete cakewalk either. Games like this are always so much more fun when you feel outnumbered or underpowered, because it really gets you thinking strategically. There's always so many ways to approach a fight, so no two battles ever feel quite the same.
Once you've completed a stage, you'll receive a rating based on how many heroes are still on their feet and the number of turns needed to finish. This earns you coins to spend on weapons and either a bronze, silver, or gold trophy. Completionists can even return to retry stages and go for a better rating, along with discovering new challenge stages that appear, mixing up the rules and allowing you to earn more orbs and coins. It's almost strange that we haven't seen Mario and his pals venture into this kind of territory before. Oh, speaking of strange, what did you both think of the overall strangeness of the game itself?
Well, you know, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Rabbids in general. On the one hand, they're really funny. On the other hand, they're really annoying. But this turned out to be a delightful mashup. In fact, I'll be sad if Rabbids don't turn up in more of Mario's adventures.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I had my doubts as well, but I think introducing these characters in such a different game type was the perfect idea. I will will say I was hoping to see some more multiplayer options than just a co-op mode, and I did notice the occasional camera and frame rate problem, but these are just minor issues in an otherwise fantastic game.
Yes, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is an excellent strategy game in a fun setting with a great mix of characters. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Guys, I'm such a Nintendo fanboy, I was really worried this could have been a complete mess, but it turns out it's just the right kind of mess. So I can see it sitting in my Switch for a long time, and I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
You know, guys, since the Mario Kart series is one of the greatest all-time couch multiplayer games, I thought we could review this one together.
Great idea, Goose.
Yeah, let's race.
3, 2, 1, go!
First! Ah!
I'm in first, I'm in first, I'm in first. No, Radley, no!
First!
See you, Red Chill away!
Get away! Come back here!
Made it to 3rd. Oh, yes. Back to
Oh, how the
4th.
mighty have
Back to
fallen.
5th.
He was rushing down to the line, it's always there, he's got the mask in the background. No!
Oh, well done.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is an updated version of the Wii U title, which was originally released in 2014. It's now out on the Switch, so you can play it either on the big screen or in handheld mode, if you're up for some karting on the go, or go-karting as they call it.
Yes, nice one, Rad. I was a big fan of this on the Wii U, guys, so I was keen to see how Nintendo might breathe some new life into this already fantastic racer, and I can happily say it does not disappoint.
Yes, this is Nintendo at their very best. Even on the Wii U, it had amazing visuals, creative tracks, and best of all, the racing was as tight and chaotic as ever. If I remember correctly, I gave the game a near perfect score.
It seems like Nintendo could have simply re-released the same game and it would have kept many a Mario fan happy.
Yes, but fortunately they've put a lot of hard work into this one, and it really shows.
Totally. For starters, the Switch version has all the previously released downloadable content. This adds 16 tracks over 4 additional cups, plus a number of extra races, such as Cat Peach, Tanuki Mario, and even Link.
And as this is the deluxe version, Nintendo have even found room for a few more familiar faces, including Bowser Jr., Dry Bones, King Boo, and the Inklings from Splatoon.
Oh, and how good are the Inklings? They're so full of attitude and perfect for racing.
This is a seriously packed roster now. Once you've picked a favorite racer and tinkered with some of the additional parts for kart customization, it's down to some classic karting.
In addition to the traditional 50, 100 and 150cc classes, you can now select the mirror mode straight away. Or, if you're feeling daring, you can even try 200cc's. But be warned, Sporlings, this mode is for seasoned racers only, requiring you to actually use brakes if you want to avoid flying off the track.
The racing itself is still arguably the best in the series, with the core gameplay remaining relatively unchanged. You've still got the iconic power sliding, classic weapons, and of course the anti-gravity tracks that made Mario Kart 8 so unique.
Luckily, what has changed in this deluxe version is all the things we felt were missing from the original. First of all, you can now hold 2 pickups at once, just like in Mario Kart Double Dash. Which I think makes for a more tactical race.
Oh, I love tactics, not to mention the overall chaos on the track. In classic Mario Kart tradition, items you pick up when further back in the pack will often be super powerful, such as the Speedy Bullet or the infamous Blue Shell. It can make for some of the most heart-pounding comebacks.
To aid new players, there are now optional assists for things like steering and acceleration. This helps level the playing field for first-time karters.
Yeah, it's a really thoughtful addition. Now guys, one of my favourite ways to play Mario Kart has always been the battle mode. Now, this was the most disappointing part of the Wii U version. Repurposing the racetracks to battle on just felt awkward and wasn't much fun. But I'm glad to say that the arenas are back. Let the chaos commence! Now I'm doing it. And I got a red shell for you. Red shell for you. Blah, 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 yeah!
There's a red, there's red.
Oh, I got you.
Finally!
Hit me!
In total, there are 8 arenas to choose from, each with large open spaces and multiple paths that make racing around for pickups and chasing down opponents just as frantic and fun as ever. Although I do recommend turning off AI opponents when you're battling with friends on the couch, otherwise it just gets a bit messy.
Yeah, especially in some of the modes like Bomb Blast or Balloon Battle. My personal favourite was Shine Thief, and the new Renegade Roundup, which is sort of like Cops and Robbers in go-karts.
Yeah, I thought that was a really great addition. I loved dashing in and trying to save my teammates. Go, go, go! Until I got captured myself.
I thought the game ran great with 4 players on one screen too. Even in handheld mode, although I wouldn't say it's an ideal way to play.
I think I might need glasses.
I think I need a second pair of glasses.
Which one am I?
Now, online play wasn't available at the time that we reviewed it, but I'd hope it'd be just as stable as the Wii U version.
So, what are you 3 going to give it?
Well, this is an easy score for me, you guys, because everything that I felt was missing from the Wii U version is in this Switch version. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 rubber chickens. Brad?
Well, the new assists are great, and I love the roster of characters. I think it's worth 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens. Goose?
Well, guys, I played a lot of this on the Wii U, so I was hoping for a couple of Switch-exclusive tracks, but having that battle mode back, plus the portability on the Switch, made this just wonderful to play, so it's 4 out of 5 rubber chickens from me.
One of the best parts about playing games is playing with friends.
Which is why we're super excited to buddy up for a new Super Mario Party.
It's party time!
Super Mario Party is the latest in the series that brings all the multiplayer madness to the Switch.
The main mode is basically a board game turned into a video game. Up to 4 players can battle it out either solo or in teams in a bid to collect the most stars. It's always fun to see all your favourite Ninty characters hanging out.
And each character has their own special die, with its own advantages and disadvantages. You can choose to roll your fancy character die, or just a regular 1 to 6 classic. I like the risk-reward of dice with high numbers, even if it means I might lose some coin. But the dice I truly love to roll is the dice of life.
Well, that risk might not pay off because while you may not need coins to win, you still need coins to win. Because that's how you buy stars. And you do this by visiting Toadette, who positions herself about the board. And to make things trickier, when playing in teams, you need to land exactly on her space.
I really like this about playing in teams because it added that extra bit of challenge while I figured out the perfect path.
Totally, and I think I liked teams better in general because it's easier to make sense of the board. You plot out where you'll travel and can see all possible options before deciding to go. But when you play solo, you automatically move along preset paths until you hit a crossroads and decide which path to take. To be fair, you can look around the board before you roll, but that feels really stilted, and you need to leave it up to the luck of your roll anyway.
Well, unless you have a die with a lot of the exact numbers you need, but even then it does come down to a lot of luck.
That's kind of my main issue with this game. It feels like how well you do is luck-based rather than skill-based. In classic Nintendo fashion, the game tries to help out whoever's behind to really even out the playing field. But I think they may have gone a tad too far here, especially awarding bonus stars at the end, which means anyone can win.
Yeah, it does make the victory feel a little bit hollow. Even minigames feel empty because winning doesn't give you much of an advantage. The minigames are played between each round and are a fun way of breaking up the more tedious dice rolling. Plus, you can win a few extra coin. I really liked that you have the opportunity to practice the minigame before you jump in. This makes it feel really fair because everybody understands what's happening before you get in there.
Yeah, this is where the game really shines for me. Frantically waggling as you compete is so much fun, and it really has a way of bringing the whole group together. You can also play these minigames on Challenge Road. Here you'll need to prove your minigame prowess, and it's maybe the only part of Super Mario Party that's still fun to play solo. I'm just glad they threw in something for when your friends aren't around.
Like the minigame marathon, there's a few other modes outside of your classic party. If board games aren't your thing, you can boogie down with a rhythm game, or paddle for your life down a branching river of challenges. But I didn't much like the river game, to be honest. It's not speedy enough to be considered a race, and you can play the minigames elsewhere, and paddling's hard.
Yeah, it's really tiring, isn't it? New to this Switch version of Mario Party is also a series of games that use the undocked screens of two consoles to create a whole new playing field. So now the party can jump out of your TV screen and onto your table.
This looked so cool in the ads, but unfortunately most of them don't control very well or could have just been played on one screen. And you need 2 Switches and 2 copies of the game to play.
It's a bit outrageous, but surprisingly I did like the banana game. But it's absolutely not worth it for this feature alone. It's more like a cool demo than anything else.
Yeah, they're not that fun to actually play, but I'm always impressed with Nintendo's innovation. Not every idea is going to work, but you never know if you don't try.
Inspiring words, Goose. After all, games like this are meant to encourage fun between friends, rather than be fun just by themselves. And I think Super Mario Party does just that. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 rubber chickens.
There's a great deal of variety in the mini games here, which keeps things interesting. But because the victories feel more luck-based than skill-based, I'm a touch disappointed. I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Well, I'm just impressed at how many features they've crammed into this game. I may not want to play all the modes all the time, but everyone needs a good party game in their library, so I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens. All right, cake time?
Yes!